Bayswater Marina on Auckland's North Shore plays host to the 2014 State Harbour Crossing, arguably New Zealand's most iconic open water swim. Well, 1,600 registered competitors have arrived in Auckland for this 2.9 kilometre swim. Some will drive there, most of them will take the ferry, knowing that they will have to swim home.
I have a swimming background and I've done 7 other international ocean swims as well, so I just thought, why not do it?
First time, yep, looking forward to it. Flat water, no wind, that's good.
Just the whole novelty of crossing the harbour, yeah, pretty good.
And that word novelty, very much a motivation and incentive for so many athletes. Absolutely beautiful day in Auckland for the more than 1,600 registered competitors, a number of celebrities and one very special competitor, an elite athlete from the past, the great Pip Gower.
You've got your daughter and granddaughter with you as well, which must be very exciting.
Yes, it is. Well, it was my granddaughter who triggered me to do this. She said, oh, come and join us, Pip. So I thought, well, at 74, another challenge, you might as well have a go.
Cameron Jones, the State Harbour Crossing, I understand it's your first one.
Yep, I've been wanting to do something like this for a while now, so it's good to finally make it happen, eh?
Your co-star Matt Chamberlain also racing today. Have you got a side wager on with him?
Well, I tell you what, I pretend to be confident, but he's pretty damn fit, to be honest. He's a fit old dude, man. So I'll keep my eye on him.
Yeah, no dress rehearsals for our Shortland Street actors. Our look at our elite competitors. We just saw Yasunari Hirai of Japan, Jared Port, George O'Brien out of Australia, the two big New Zealand hopes, Charlotte Webby and Philip Ryan. But before we hear from our elite athletes, let's recap Race 1, the Bay of Islands Classic, a 3.3 kilometre swim from New Zealand's original capital, Russell, to Paihia Beach. And early on, it was the young Kiwi Troy Belvett who would put the pressure on Yasunari Hirai of Japan and George O'Brien out of Australia. But he wouldn't be able to sustain the pace, and it would be George O'Brien in the gold cap who would just take the narrowest of lead with about 400 metres. But ultimately, Yasunari Hirai of Japan would prove to have the superior strength. He'd get to his feet and make history, becoming the first Japanese competitor to win a round of the State New Zealand Ocean Swim Series. And while Japan was celebrating the men's race, all eyes were on the women's race. Lauren Boyle, the Commonwealth Games gold medalist over 400 metres, the short course world record holder over 1,500 metres, was looking to try and take out the victory. But in the finish, the honours would go to Charlotte Webby out of Taranaki, who would use her superior open water skills to prove that she in fact would be the athlete to beat for the rest of the series.
I'm out here to have a little bit more fun, enjoy it hopefully. Pretty tough competition with the Aussies coming over. Navigation will be the key, and then just go out there and give it your best, and that's all you can ask for.
And so on that, do you know the harbour crossing well? Do you know the tactics and the ways to head for this distance?
Most of the time. A couple of years ago I had a little bit of a lapse and I missed a buoy, so I had to backtrack. So I've just got to remember I've got to keep concentrating really. Once you let down your guard, some things go wrong, and that's open water swimming, but I'm looking forward to it.
Philip Ryan, State Harbour Crossing, this is virtually your home course. How much of an advantage is that going to be?
Oh, it's a little advantage, but anything can happen out there. The water's different every time, so just going to go out there and give it my all.
Certainly we saw in Paihia that the leading group stuck together for a lot of the way, and then they pulled away at the end. Do you think you've got that burst in the end that you need?
Oh, I'm hoping so. I'm just going to go and try and stick with them this time.
Philip Ryan, New Zealand's big hope, and 1,600 registered competitors getting ready for one of the great starts and one of the great ocean swim events. And let's have a look at the course today for all of our swimmers. It starts on Auckland's North Shore at Bayswater Marina. Pretty much a straight drag across the famous Waitemata Harbour, finishing at the Viaduct Harbour. Navigation shouldn't be too much of an issue with competitors swimming in a straight line. Here's Nick Jordan with today's forward forecast.
Good morning from Waitemata Harbour. As you can tell, perfect conditions for round 2 of the State Ocean Swim Series. A light 2-knot westerly, 18 degrees the water temperature, about 15 degrees in the air. The tide will be behind the swimmers as they head across the harbour from Bayswater to the Viaduct. Absolutely stunning conditions for the State Harbour Crossing.
And looking forward to this. There they are, the waves in their colour-coded caps, 6 of them 1 minute apart. This will be fast, this will be furious for those elite athletes. but plenty of competition amongst the age group athletes too. Some benchmarking from year to year, others here on debut. It is an eclectic mix. What a magnificent sight. We are underway. The washing machine effect. The kick comes into play early. It is a beautiful thing. And initially for all of the competitors, they do just have a little bit of a left-hand turn before they straighten up because they have to make their way out of Bays Water Marina here on Auckland's North Shore. So at the front end of the field, you can just see the high arm turnover from these elite athletes looking to try and get clear water. And in the blue cap, it is Troy Belvett, the 22-year-old Kiwi. Now, he finished 5th at the Bay of Islands Classic. He was in contention, but he took a lot of the lead, took a lot of the workload early on, and he seems to be following a similar pattern today. Well, sitting alongside of him in the red cap, it's Michael Shiel out of Australia, 26 years of age, 5th at the Bay of Islands Classic. Yasunari Hirai in the pink cap, the winner of the Bay of Islands Classic, also there. So exactly what are the tactics today from Troy Belvett?
Yeah, I was leading most of it, and then sort of 500 to go, we all just split apart, and I took the wrong line, and the others just got in front.
So what do you learn from a race like that, given that this is 400 metres shorter?
I'd probably try not to lead as much, so you have more in the tank at the end, and choose a better line or just try to stick with someone else and follow them there.
The conditions this morning look perfect, so it should be a good quick race. Have you done the harbour crossing before?
Yeah, I did it last year and it was much the same, just dead flat. But I must say I'd probably prefer a bit of chop, you know. It sort of gets rid of those just pull swimmers, makes it a bit more interesting, a bit of a race.
Big future, but this is all about experience at this level. It still decides that he wants to take control, Belvett. What a beautiful part of the country Cambridge is these days, the base for so many high-performance programs, and 4th at the 5K and 3rd in the 10K at the New Zealand Open Water Championships. So it is Troy Belvett in the baby blue cap. Out to his right, Michael Shiel out of Australia. New Zealand's big hope, Philip Ryan in the orange cap. But our first look now at Jared Port in the green cap. He's decided to take a slightly different line. Nothing ventured, nothing gained. And Jared Port deciding today not to wear a wetsuit. He thinks the water conditions are warm enough, doesn't want the restriction, feels that he's maybe more in control of his stroke. And with this being a taught sport, a technique-based sport, hey, it really comes down to the individual. Nice job being done here by Philip Ryan in the orange cap, New Zealand's big hope, taking control of the chase group. Out to his right-hand side in the silver cap, it's George O'Brien, a 22-year-old out of Australia. Now, he was 2nd in the series last year and 3rd ranked Aussie over 5 kilometres this year. I like Philip Ryan. He's got guts. He's just all strength. He wants to take control. He wants to set the pace. He doesn't want to be dictated to. Maybe just put a few questions, a few doubts in the other competitor's head, as now for the first time we look at our lead female competitor, the familiar stroke of Charlotte Webby out of Taranaki, winner of race 1 up in the Bay of Islands, the Bay of Islands Classic. She's tough, she's tenacious, nice high arm turnover, and that really is the fundamental difference between pool swimming and ocean swimming. It's the high arm turnover versus the long stretched out stroke you see in the pool. So 6th at the Pan Pacific Games in 2014, 5th at the World Cup Hong Kong in 2014. The chase group trying to get themselves on the podium in the pink cap. This is Laura Crockhart, a 19-year-old out of Australia from Sydney, currently ranked number 1 in Australia. But for so many of these Australians, this is new territory, and the new territory comes in swimming in the wetsuits. Back to the men's race, Philip Ryan. Just looking back every time he breathes out to his left-hand side, and now lifting his head, making sure that he's taking the straightest line between points A and B. Well, interesting, Yasunari Hirai now, the Japanese competitor. He's lost his pink cap, sits there in the white cap. He is just poised, saving energy, but a good swim now from Charlotte Webby. She's managed to get onto the feet of some of these elite men. Next to her on her left-hand side, it's Matthew Scott in the official white cap. So Charlotte Webby, she's fought, now she's amongst the group of lead men. This is going to be danger for those females trying to chase her as they enter the Waitemata Harbour. Auckland Harbour looking absolutely magnificent on the morning of the State Harbour Crossing, one of the great open water swims an eclectic mix of athletes, 1,600 of them, including our youngest competitor, 11 years of age, Hannah Milne. She's a future swimming star who's learnt the trade in the Jetstar Super Swim Squad. She's making her debut. She's swimming with her parents.
Here we are at your first harbour crossing, about half an hour to go. How excited are you?
I'm really nervous, but quite excited too, because, I've seen Mum and Dad doing it for ages and I really wanted to do it. Now I'm here, I'm kind of having second thoughts because it looked a whole lot further than it did when they were swimming it. I've been swimming 3 to 4 times a week for an hour, and I've been doing dry land, which is like push-ups and stuff. So yeah, I've been doing quite a bit of that. I've always sort of watched them in the bad conditions rather than the good ones, and I've kind of been going, oh, do I really want to do this? But seeing it in these conditions, it's going to be awesome.
Awesome indeed, and there's our elite competitors around about the 1,500 metre mark, and of course special thanks to Jetstar for getting our elite competitors over here, out of Australia particularly, for this wonderful State New Zealand Ocean Swim Series. And of course we should mention the Japanese competitor Yasunari Hirai, who sits there in the white cap currently in about 2nd or 3rd place. But it is still Troy Belvett, the 22-year-old Kiwi, who leads this race. He too has lost his swim cap, so we've got a good little bunch beginning to develop. We saw a great race for so much of round 1 in the Bay of Islands Classic. Really, it was only the last 200 to 300 metres where Hirai of Japan showed his class. He's just so unassuming. He's happy to be patient, and patience such a key part of any open water swim. So some wonderful shots coming off the water. Just to give you some sort of sense of just how quickly they are moving through the water. Now the Kiwi, Philip Ryan, deciding to go to the front and look to try and stretch Hirai of Japan, who's sitting there in 2nd place. Back further in the silver cap, it's George O'Brien. So this is a gutsy performance coming from Ryan, and was a big bunch swim. Now it's looking more and more like one long line, and generally that means the pace is on. Hirai of Japan, though, deciding that he wants to just send Philip Ryan a little bit of a message, gets alongside of him, just a little bit of argy-bargy, nothing deliberate there. That is the gladiatorial nature of open water swimming. And Hirai of Japan, he competed at the 2012 Olympics. These days he does base himself in Australia, again, just for the all year round weather that they do get. Very unassuming character, put him in a wetsuit, put him on the start line, and he is an assassin. That is just a wonderful shot, what I affectionately call a pain train. You can guarantee the herd is going on as they now start to come into the viaduct harbour, and you sense Hirai of Japan is in control. The kick begins to come into play. The reaction from the swimmers behind, there is some real urgency, but you just sort of sense maybe they've left it just a little bit too late. Navigation now, so important. Hirai of Japan, a large crowd waiting to greet these elite swimmers in both the men's and women's race. He comfortably won race 1, the Bay of Islands Classic, looking to try and go back to back. Now looking to just try and lengthen out that stroke, which says to me that he's in good condition. Fatigue hasn't kicked in. Swimmers that are struggling at this point, the stroke will shorten up. You'll just start to see the head movement a little bit more. But Hirai lifting his head now just to make sure that he gets the last 200 metres correct. It's a difficult little finish. They do need to make their way up the stairs directly in front of the Viaducts Event Centre. The final state marker buoy, number 9. The blue carpet awaits him. Gambate Kudasai. Yasunari Hirai goes back to back and takes out the State Harbour crossing, making history as the first Japanese competitor to win. And in 2nd place, he conserved his energy for much of the day in the silver cap. It's the 22-year-old out of Australia, George O'Brien, and New Zealand will get themselves on the podium because the gutsy Philip Ryan will finish in 3rd place. A very good swim too coming from Leon Albury out of the Capital Swim Club in Wellington. He's only a young man, valuable experience. And now the first of our female competitors, Charlotte Webby in the green cap, looking to try and replicate what Yasunari Hirai has just done, and that is go back to back, win the first 2 rounds of the State New Zealand Ocean Swim Series. And you can just see That stroke just starting to look a little uglier than perhaps we saw at the start line. That is just a demonstration of how much effort she has put in. She won't know where second and third are. She'll leave nothing to chance. Such a wonderful supporter of the State New Zealand Ocean Swim Series. They breed them tough in Taranaki.
Beat Lauren Boyle up in the Bay of Islands.
So it was Lauren Boyle 2 weeks ago that she beat. Now she gets to her feet. Charlotte Webby is the Queen of Auckland Harbour. She takes out round 2. And confirming the men's results, Yasunari Hirai in a time of 35 minutes and 24 seconds. George O'Brien out of Australia in second place. Philip Ryan, the Kiwi, in third. Jared Port rounding out our top 5. On the women's side, Charlotte Webby comfortably in a time of 37 minutes and 55 seconds. Then the 2 Australians, Laura Cockhart and Alessandra Colombini.
Charlotte Webby, congratulations. First in the state Harbour crossing. Talk us through the race.
It was pretty good. I started off quite a little bit faster than I usually do. I tried to get on the boys' feet, and I probably was there for about a K, and then they started to swim away, so I was just hoping I could hold on at the end.
And so what do you do then when it clears out and you're on your own effectively?
You just keep going as hard as you can. Obviously, you know that someone behind you might be coming in a group to catch you, so I just keep pushing it. But the last 400 metres definitely felt like a good K, so it was quite hard, but I'm glad I came out with the win.
2 from 2 now on the State Ocean Swim Series. A good feeling going into Christmas.
Yeah, definitely. I've got what I came out to do, and now I'll just build on my other open water swimming, and then I'll come back at the end of the series and hopefully be in form again.
Yasu Hirai, congratulations on winning the Harbour crossing.
Thank you so much. I'm so happy that I could win 1 round, 2 rounds. Yeah. I feel really amazing. It's a really good competition.
It was a lot of fun, really. We were just out there. I let Philip sort of lead for a fair bit, and I think Troy was up there as well. And Yasu and I was just hanging back in the pack and saving energy, and then he just had more to give at the end. So, but I'm still happy with second. Yeah, it was a really good swim.
He's a class act, George O'Brien. He finds himself now second on the overall standings after 2 races. Yasunari Hirai, the perfect start. Philip Ryan, though, certainly in contention for the overall series. And the women's overall series leaderboard, Charlotte Webby, the perfect 200. 4 races still remain in the series, though. The final race, the King of the Bays, double points. The order can change very quickly. Great to see so many competitors now getting to their feet and finishing the 2014 State Harbour Crossing, including All Black Ian Jones.
It was fun. It's a heck of a challenge, but a great achievement. And it's just nice to be around so many, like-minded people. Everyone's a buzz. It's a different atmosphere here than the start, Everyone can relax now, so it was cool.
I was just trying to pretend it was just another training. And so, ironically, with all the chaos at the start of the race, I had that song Singing in the Rain in my head. It was just kind of like nice to kind of go along to. But then obviously the competitive streak kicks in, and then so in the last 2/3 I was like, actually no, this is a race. And so I started putting a more upbeat song into my head. But so fun, man. I was just enjoying every second of it, and big accomplishment for me personally.
But I'm still trying to figure out who won between the 2 Shortland Street actors, because his biggest rival was Matt Chamberlain, who plays Murray Cooper.
So thought I had you.
You did, didn't you?
A bit nervous before I started. Sort of never quite sure they actually in training did a whole 2.9 Ks, but once you got past 2/3, I thought, oh yeah, this will be good. And the wave started calming down. It started to get a bit more of a rhythm, and it was great.
Yeah, well done to both of them. And speaking of well done, our youngest competitor, Hannah Milne, 11 years of age, gets to her feet, finishes with her father, mum also doing the event. Very much a family affair. Outstanding effort.
Yeah, it was harder than I thought because the waves picked up in the harbour bit, and I just thought I could go straight, but I couldn't. Apparently Mum's already in, but Dad stayed behind to help.
Well, what a wonderful inspiration for other youngsters out there. When I was 11 years of age, I could barely cross the road. She's just crossed the harbour. Mum looking pretty happy too.
Oh, absolutely over the moon. I'm just so proud of her. Delighted. Absolutely delighted.
Hannah said it was quite difficult in the middle part in the harbour. It was quite choppy.
Yes, she found it a wee bit tough, but she got through. She got to the end, and that's all we wanted.
Yes, and that is very much the goal for most of our competitors, to simply get from point A to point B, to say they've conquered the Waitemata Harbour. Our next finisher, a remarkable competitor, 74 years young, in the green cap. This is Pip Gower, an icon of New Zealand swimming. one of the great female athletes of the 1950s. She held 4 world records in long course swimming, Olympic Games bronze medalist, a bronze medal at the 1958 Empire Games. Her granddaughter and her daughter also on the start line today, very much a family affair. And the youngest of the 3, Amber, she's the granddaughter, 16 years of age, being congratulated now by her mother, Sally, and of course the great Pip Gower herself. What an inspiration. Great emotion, wonderful stuff.
Oh, well, I did enjoy it. The first, at the very beginning, I thought, oh my goodness, I'm not sure I'll get there. With so many people all around, you're always worried that you might just get a mouthful and go to the bottom.
What's next for you now? Is it back into training?
Oh, just enjoyable training. I do enjoy going to the Olympic pool, and that's where I broke my world records, and it's always a very happy place for me to go. It's like a second home.
Yeah, perfect. All right. Go on. And just when you think you've seen it all, this competitor gets down on one knee. The question is to his girlfriend, will you marry me? What will the answer be? I think that's a yes. We'll have to wait for confirmation.
She did say yes, I think. Has she said yes?
Yes! Hooray! Oh, thank you guys. Thank you for checking.
And if you're inspired by what you see or you want to get married, there are still 4 races left in the State New Zealand Ocean Swim Series, the first being the Capital Classic, January 25th in the new year. Over the Christmas period, train hard, be the best you can be. We'd love to see you on the start line. We'd love you to be a part of the fastest growing sport in the country.